Index funds. What is the difference between VOO, VTI, IVV, and SPY? You may have just stumbled upon this video because you needed to watch it, or through your own quest for knowledge, you found this. Well, you are at the right place. Either way, I use this platform to inspire and to empower through information that leads to your financial wealth and freedom. I too was very confused as to where to invest or which companies to invest when I started this journey a few years back. Hey y'all, what's happening? I'm Rescue, serial entrepreneur, brand strategist, investor, and a philanthropist. It is my hope that this video help inspire you to take action now. I'm not here to impress you, not to, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But to impress upon you that it is all possible to elevate higher. So, let's get right in it. Let's get right into it. Let's get into it. Yeah. This is your life guide. In this video, I want to help declutter some of the confusions between all these three-letter symbols that confuses the average Joe or the new and eager investor. If this is you, I hope this video can help shed some light on the confusion. For the fact that you are curious is a good sign of your thirst for wanting more in life and building wealth while on your freedom journey. In short, all these index funds are classified as exchange traded funds or ETFs, and by far are the best of the best and the safest way to invest your money, because all the holdings in these index funds are the best of the best that performs beyond average, selected and managed for you, so you won't have to lift a finger. Regardless of whichever of the following index funds that you go with, you will create wealth and never look back to saving your money in an average or standard savings bank. Only poor people save their money in a regular savings account at the bank, only for it to be depreciated in value and with lots of banking fees. So, pay close attention if you want to have power over money. Let's first start by understanding what an index fund is. An index fund is a portfolio of stocks or bond designed to mimic the composition and performance of a financial market index. It is a type of mutual fund or an exchange traded fund ETF with a portfolio constructed to match or track the components of financial market index, such as the S&P 500. So you may be asking, what is S&P 500? The S&P 500 is a stock market index that tracks the stocks of 500 large cap US companies. It represents the stock market performance by reporting the risk and the returns of the biggest companies. Investors use it as a benchmark of the overall market to which all other investments are compared. How does the S&P 500 work? Well, the S&P 500 tracks the market capitalization of the companies in its index. Market cap is the total value of all shares of a stock company issued. It's calculated by multiplying the number of shares issued by the stock price. A company that has a market cap of 100 billion receives 10 times the representation as a company whose market cap is, say, 10 billion. Now that we understand what index funds are and what S&P 500 is all about, let's talk about some important points of using an index fund for your investment strategy. Keep in mind, investment is not just for the rich. In fact, if you want to be rich, you must invest your money and your time. So I hope we can take the intimidation out and approach this as something that we should all know and we should all learn. I truly believe that everyone should study economics, study finance, and study how to manage their money. Matter of fact, this should be the only thing taught in all schools because it's something we have to live by. You know, everybody has to deal with money. Everybody has to deal with economy. Everybody has to deal with, day-to-day finances. So don't be intimidated. Let's take it one by one. Feel me? Few things you should know about index funds. Index funds have lower expense and fees than any active managed funds. Index funds follow passive investment strategy. Index funds also seek to match the risk and the returns of a market, on the theory that in the long term, the market will overperform any single investment. Index funds outperform most individual stocks. Index funds offer maximum diversification and thus lower risk. Index funds also offer easier way for you to minimize investment fees. Except for VTI, VOO, IVV, and SPY are the most popular that actually focuses and mirrors S&P 500 companies that are composed of the largest 500 publicly traded companies in the US. That captures about 80% of the total US market cap. Whereas VTI tracks the performance of the CRSP US Total Market Index consisting of over 3,500 companies. Investor Warren Buffett is one of the most well-known supporters of S&P 500 index fund. He believes that the average investor can outperform most actively managed funds if they simply buy and hold the shares in an S&P 500 index fund for several decades. Well, his over $80 billion plus net worth has proven such theory. So I want to go over a few of the distinctions of all of these index funds, starting with SPDR S&P 500 ETF Trust, ticker symbol SPY. This ETF is actually the granddaddy of all S&P 500. It started back in 1993 and it tracks the S&P 500 companies. The S&P 500 index is only composed of big companies. Each company in the index must have a positive earnings in the most recent quarter as well as most recent 4 quarters. So for any company to be part of the S&P 500, the company must show well performance positive earnings in the most recent quarter as well as over the most recent 4 quarters of their earnings. So when you buy an SPY fund, you're actually buying a unit of the current holding representing a small portion of each stock on the S&P 500 index. SPY has topped 70% of peers, both active and passive, in the performance of the last decade, and it has 7.8 average annual gain over the past 10 years as of March 2020. The asset allocation for SPY is $268.24 billion. The expense ratio is at 0.09. iShares Core SP 500 ETF, or ticker symbol IVV. This ETF also tracks the investment results of S&P 500, which measures the performance of, again, large companies within the S&P 500. So this index also tracks S&P 500 top performing companies. The fund generally invests at least 90% of its assets in securities and underlying index and depository receipts representing securities and underlying index. So this index was actually founded back in 2000. Its asset allocation is close to $190 billion with an expense ratio of 0.04%. Now, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, or VOO, like SPY and IVV, VOO invests in stocks in the S&P 500 index, representing over 500 large companies. VOO also focuses on S&P 500 companies. Its goal also is to closely track the index returns, which is considered the gauge of the overall US stock returns. Now, VOO, founded back in 2010, asset allocation is over $500 million with an expense ratio of 0.03%. Last but not the least, the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, ticker symbol VTI. VTI is a bit different. This index fund tracks the performance of the SRSP US Total Market Index, a well-diversified exchange-traded fund that holds over 3,500 companies. Now, this was founded back in 2001. Allocated asset is close to $900 billion with an expense ratio of 0.03%. Now, taking all into consideration, in the past few years, VOO has had a better investment return and a greater price stability than SPY, IVV, and VTI. Based on that, VOO has historically been better investment. However, past performance is no guarantee that the same will continue to occur in the future. So for this reason, it's impossible to predict or to say which one will do better in the future. In a nutshell, VTI have a lot more diversified companies, while the other three, SPY, VOO, and IVV, they focus on S&P 500 companies. So what are your thoughts? Go ahead and comment down below. What are some of your choices as far as the index funds? Are you considering to choose one option over the other? Go ahead and comment down below so I can know what your choices are. So in a nutshell, it makes more sense for an average investor to buy all the S&P 500 companies at the low cost in an index fund than focusing on an individual stock, which usually will have higher volatility. Historically, tracking the performance of all these ETFs are strikingly similar, with VOO coming slightly on top. While the past does not predict entirely the future, we can somewhat use it as a roadmap. In my opinion, and of course I've taken my own advice, I have bought into all of these index funds in order to make sure that I diversify my portfolio as much as possible, with all of them having a yearly return of about averagely about 10%. You can't go wrong. Much better than putting your money at a regular savings or checking account, which eventually depreciates. By all means, do your due diligence and educate yourself in all of these before you make any investments. So now, the next time you see all of these three-letter index ticker symbols, don't be intimidated. You might as well just make them your besties. They surely will be bringing you rewards in the long term, slowly but surely. Well, folks, I appreciate you for your time. Please click and smash and like and love the thumbs up button, and also click the notification so anytime I post a video, you will be notified. As a way to support and an encouragement for me to create more videos to inspire others. It also helps the algorithm to populate the message faster for those who need to hear this most. In fact, send this video to 2 or 3 people so that way you're supporting our channel to help us grow. I have many more resources in the link down below for you to explore, helping you enrich your life journey. That's about it for now. Remember, knowledge is power, but the application of knowledge is powerful. You have greatness within you. Tap into it. Thank you for watching. Really, I mean that. I'm Rescue, and this is your life guide. So, let's get right to it. Let's get right into it. Let's get right to it.